Everyone, I'm Robin with robinswreathery. How is everyone doing today? I am trying to pull up the live, so if you can just give me a second. I think we're gonna have to go back out and come back in and see if that works. There we go. All right. We're live on Facebook. Now we just have to find robinswreathery. There we go. All right. Let's see if I can pin that to the top. Won't let me. Okay. How is everyone doing today? We have a new item that we're releasing. Let's hope that I get to see comments. I can see comments there, but we're not getting comments here. And we're frozen on YouTube. Why is that? Oh, sometimes. Do y'all do lives? This is so frustrating sometimes. It's showing frozen on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, let me see if it will allow me to type that in. Allowed me to say welcome, but it's not showing live. So if you're watching from YouTube and you leave me a comment and I don't see it, move on over to Facebook, because for some reason I'm going to go completely out again. I am sorry for the delay. This is so frustrating sometimes because it's usually something within the connection, and a lot of times there's not much. There we go. Okay. Hey, Monique. How are you? Okay, I went back out, came back in, so now it is showing comments and it is showing live. Okay, we're good. All right. So this is the new Cardinal door hanger that we created this morning. This is a birch overlay that we're going to put on here. There is a banner that's going to go across down here. And then we have some little cardinals that we're going to put up in here. So we're going to paint this and put it together. Also, I have not listed these yet, but this cardinal here also comes in a wreath attachment size. So we will have those on probably by tomorrow. So I've already stained the top and the back of the door hanger. So we're going to put that aside. That's drying. Oh, by the way, here's the leash holder from the other night. I went ahead and I put the UV resin on that. So that is dry and finished. So let's pull you in a little bit here and get started. Now my plan is, I really am liking this sage, but it's not as dark as I want it. So I think I'm going to try mixing a little brown with it to get it darker. But this we're going to go ahead and dab with the white Adirondack. I am doing good, and Wyatt is doing very good too. He has his moments. Right now he's resting. He's funny. He likes to go in the other room with the adults, and he drives them crazy. So every now and then I've got to bring him back in to the dining room just to give them a break, because he can be a blister. So this represents a birch tree. So we're going to paint this overlay white. I already got some on there, which is okay because we can go back and fix that. I should have started out on a wider piece to kind of give it myself an idea of how much paint was on there. But the later you dab, the less paint you get on there. And we actually took several birch trees and put them in a circle, but had to do what's called bouillon, and they overlapped, but when you bouillon, it makes it part of the frame. Hey Dawn, hey Z, good evening from Bulgaria. How are you, girlfriend? Long time no see. So all I'm doing is dabbing this paint on here. We're going to cover this whole thing with white. We may cheat a little, rub it down that way. This dabbing keeps it from getting on the side that we don't want to paint. But I want you to see just how easy it is. Now, if you're looking for something cardinal, all you have to do is go to my Etsy shop and type in cardinal, because we have several cardinal signs. We have cardinal flag. There's a lot of cardinal stuff in there. Usually, the saying is, when cardinals appear, angels are near, and I thoroughly believe that. But probably from this design, we will go ahead and make an ornament that will be nice too. Now, alone, I would say this overlay is a little, it's not as solid as it should be, but once you glue that steadfast to that base, you will give it a lot of stability. This is a 14-inch. This is one of the wider ones we've done. So this is a nice piece. The base is made of birch, and this is a plywood top to it. I think this is maple. So you could stain it if you wanted. It comes up nice when you stain it. I do too, and I like robins. Wonder why. There's a lot of birch ribbon out there that would look nice with this, because this does come with the button bow holder for the top to create your button, your bow base. Just dabbing it back here on the paper towel to remove some of it so we don't get it all over the sides. These are also very thick. This is an 1/8 of an inch, and this is a 1/2 inch. So this is a really nice solid piece. And we cut this with the laser also, so there is no painting on the sides. And that's always been an issue for some people. Hey, Judith. There's my girlfriend. Judith and I both have a grandson named Nolan. We are working on the new Cardinal door hanger. Now I'm cheating a little. I'm spreading it out. This is one of the thickest ones we've done. It comes with the banner that you put at the bottom. It says welcome on it. And it comes with 3 cardinals. And they're not your usual looking cardinals. I like to be different. So you can buy this ready-made if you want to pay me to paint it for you. Or you can buy it in a kit. So it comes both ways. You can even, if you don't have a dabber, you can even use the makeup sponges from Dollar Tree. And Judith, I forgot to send you your blueberries with your blueberry tier tray set. So next order, I will throw some of those in. I was so excited to have it cut and get it out to you that I forgot to add those, hon. I'm sorry. We will get it. I just love birch trees. I love the bark on them. Now I would highly recommend when you put this up that you use those Dollar Tree chair pads on the back of it so it does not scratch your door or bang against your door. What's nice about these don't take up near the amount of space that a mesh wreath does. They're a lot thinner. So for people like me that live up north, it's kind of nice because we have storm doors and sometimes a regular wreath does not fit between the storm doors. So this is an option. Pancake wreath or a door hanger. I may not attach the overlay to the base today because I think I want to go a little darker on the walnut stain. So, but at least I'll be able to put it on top and you'll be able to see what it looks like. You could use a paintbrush if you wanted, but this really prevents it from going over the edge. Oh, let's make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Oh, that's cool. Hey, Joanne. What's the weather like in Bulgaria, Zornitsa? Thank you, Dawn, for sprinkling. What time is it over there? Is it nighttime now? Hey, Brooklyn. How are you? Glad you're joining us. This is our new Cardinal birch tree door hanger. we are painting the overlay that's going to sit on top of the door hanger. Cheating a little bit. Don't want to load it up too much because then you'll have it going off the sides. And I think what I'm going to do with these, just, okay, in Sweden it's 8 o'clock at night. Joanne in Colorado said it's 101 and it's 12 there. Hey, Carol. Zornitsa's at the park with the children watching from Bulgaria. I'm so glad you could all join me today. Doesn't that look like a real birch tree with all those little notches in it? I think that's pretty. If I miss your comments, I will go back at the end, so please. No, it's not me. It's most of the time it's Facebook. Got a little trouble with YouTube, but we're on and live. And I could go back and do a second coat, but I kind of like how the tree is coming out. Like, I kind of like that little notch in there. Like, they're little streaks within the wood grain. And I think it really makes it look real. Yes, it would, Judith, because all you would have to do, the base I stained. This I will put a matte acrylic finish. I will spray that on there. Usually I just use Cardinal. If I use that shellac by Zinsser, it would be real shiny, and I don't want it to be shiny. So I will just use the matte finish by Cardinal. And see, the edges are already sealed when it's cut on the laser. So that seals it. So yes, this will be fine outside. I wouldn't have it right in the weather, you know, like on the door. Would be fine. If you had a covered porch and you wanted to put it on your wall, that would be fine too. But it shouldn't be any issue with it. A little bit over. Get a little bit over, it will wipe right off with a baby wipe right away. But if you don't see it, you can scrape it off and then use one of your paint markers, dark marker, to blend it. We're getting close. I know you're probably getting tired of seeing me dabbing. Hey, Nanny Dot, welcome. Nanny Dot's back from lunch. Hope you had a good time. What'd you have to eat? Anything good? And I think we'll use the same design and make an ornament, cardinal ornament with it also. We can shrink it. So that is the plan. Okay, we've got that pretty well painted. Now let's see if we can just lay it on top of this so you can get a visual of what it will look like. OMG. Is that not beautiful or what? Woohoo! I am loving that. Alright, we're going to let that dry there. And we're going to move that to the side. Now I'm kind of liking that sage. I'm really loving that sage. So I think we're going to do this in sage. I already stained the word welcome, so we don't have to worry about that. Did you move over, Nanny Dot? Nanny Dot's on YouTube now. How are you feeling, Carol? I know you were having trouble. Alright, and this is even cut out. See how you can see behind that? I think that looks good. And when I dab it, I try not to start dabbing on a score line. This is a score line where you see the dark. When I dab with the new dabber of paint, I try to dab where there is no score line, just to work off that excess so it doesn't get stuck in the cracks. See, like I'll start out here, but then I'll work back here. It's just a way to keep that looking clean for you. Thank you, Monique. Now the green is going that way, so if I want to keep with the green, and if we get a little in there, we can just do this. See how that just pulls it right out? It makes it dark again. This I may have to go over it a second time because I did on the leash holder, and I think it will need a second coat to get the color, the strong color that I want. Not a lot of pieces to this, so excuse me. I think the brown is really going to pop against the sage. Now another thing I can do is I can get a little bit of the brown on here and kind of distress this a little bit. So I think we're going to go ahead and do that, just to give it a little bit of an antique-ish look. I need another dabber. A little bit of water. There we go. We're going to put that aside. And then I think we're just going to go for it. Do it on our corner like we do. Just very gently. That's the way those trees look. That's more than I wanted, but I could go back. See, very easy to highlight with a dabber. Less is more. You could even sand it if you wanted it to look aged. Turn it around, get some of that off the other side of the dabber, because there's still some more in there. I think I got it all. Looks like I have. Okay. This. Let's go back and get another coat on this. And then by the time we do the cardinals, this should be done. And we can go back and kind of distress this on the edges too. see if this has any in it. Nope, it doesn't. Kind of want to do it while that is still kind of wet, the sage, because then it'll blend with the sage. You can probably see a little bit of a hint of it, which is really all I want. There. That's good. Drop that in the water. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. Alright, let's do our cardinals. Now, what I should have done with this one, I should have reversed it, and I didn't. So they're all the same direction. So I'm just going to turn this over and do this red on the one side. And I think I'm going to use the paint instead. Hey, Peggy. Thank you. Look at this, girlfriend. Doesn't that look great against that? We are moving right along. This is a 14-incher. Thank you. So let's go ahead and clean this white one up. I'm going to try red on these cardinals. And everything was done on the laser, so there's no painting the sides. And then when this is all dry, I will go back and do the UV just on the cardinals. I think that is going to look so sharp. It tends to highlight what you do with UV resin, and I love how it comes out. And for display purposes, I may just end up just putting everything on top but not gluing anything down, because I want to go darker on the base, and I may want to go darker on the cardinals. Now these right here are the black part of the cardinal. Don't they look realistic? Ah, thank you, Peggy. I hope everything's okay, hon. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and color this black. So that's going to set right there. Isn't that cute? And we now, like I said, we now have the cardinals in the big size for a wreath attachment. So you have it in two sizes. The small or the large for the wreath. Alright, now this one, because I had to do that. Well, I just covered up his eyeball. I'll let that dry before I give him an eyeball. Maybe he'll look like he's sleeping and his eyes closed, right? That'll look. I know. Can you imagine these? I mean, everything I do with that resin just pops. And I think these are going to pop and really stand out. I don't want to use the whole bottle. I kind of want to use it sparingly, and you know. All right, so let's see what this looks like on here. Oh yeah. I think that looks really good on there. So that goes on there. This goes on here. Then that glue gets glued on here. Like that. And I'm going with the green. So the green of this base is going this way. So that's the way I want to put it. Then this cardinal, let's have him up here. And he's going to be the one with his eyes closed. There we go. I have to glue that on. Then this one I'm going to put up here. Actually, could put him there. And we could even go higher with this one, like up here. This one, I think I'm going to set down here. Or I may even just set it on the banner too. And we could come down a little bit on this. So basically, that's what it'll look like when it's all put together, and these are UV sublimated, or UV resin. Blech. Don't mind me. Okay, now it will also come with a button bow holder if you want. I will include that. We may not, because this one is so big, we may not need this much rope. And because this base is so thick, you can staple the rope right to the back. And what I would highly suggest doing is making a knot, and then right above the knot I would put one. Thank you, Monique. And right below it I would put another one. Now I went ahead and I sprayed the button bow holder with shellac by Zinsser. I'm thinking these three colors. I'm thinking that there's lots of cardinal ribbon in my shop too. So I'm really liking that. So let's do a simple bow here. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Monique. So I'm just going to do a simple, because I don't think I need anything real big. So I think I'm going to do 5 of the red. And my scissors. And like I said, you don't need a really long tail on this. So, where is my bow dabber? I just want it to hold it, so I don't have to. Isn't that, and can you, I mean, maybe this guy should go up in here, because I think he really complements this up in here. But can you see these done with the UV? We had to put the price on this up a little higher than most of the items we've been pricing because of the quality wood that we're using on it. And like I said, you can buy it pre-made. I'll paint it for you if you want it pre-made. But that's going to cost you a little bit more. And you know what? I'm not going to use this green. I'm going to leave that green out. Now, this is directional ribbon. What do we call it, Peggy? Oh. So, I'm going to put a tail there and put a tail going up like, I could have just left it together, couldn't I? Okay, yep. We'll have that going like that. That's going to be pretty. I know I don't have a whole lot of cardinal ribbon, so yes, you're right. Monique said a big bow will take away from the design. Thank you, Joanne. So we're going to go ahead with 5 more, and we can fix these because we can twist them into the direction we want them. So we've got 5 there. That's pretty good. They're all going in the right direction. Yay! Then I think I will put just a little bit of this to cover up my zip tie. All right, let's plug her in. There we go. Now, these are the chair pads that I'm talking about from the Dollar Tree. You get a whole pack. You can get them at Dollar General also. They come in all kinds of sizes. And what I would do is probably put a big one on the back down there and a medium-sized one up here on the button bow holder. I think that would cover all your bases. Now, let's see how we're going to do this. Let's just do it like we're going to do it. I don't know if have you watched any of our videos with the UV resin, Joanne? I mean, look at the shine on that paw print. It really makes whatever you put that on pop. And that's the one thing that draws your attention right to the design. And I was worried. I wasn't sure if these were going to be big enough, and I think they are. I think they're just fine. But I want to go a little bit deeper on the walnut, a little bit deeper on this, and then do the UV on it. So that's the plan. Thank you. So all I'm doing is putting a little piece of tape on here so I can string it through. So we're going to go up this way. And then we're going to create our loop up here because we're going to come back in and down. So I'm thinking I'm going to trim it right here. And what I do is I just put it under here to give myself a little, just a little visual. I may pull it up just a little bit. Actually, we could pull this down and take that up just a little bit like that. There we go. All right, now what we need is a zip tie. Resin. Yes. Gotcha. Not raisin. You're right. Now, I want to put this through the hole there, but at the same time, I want to cover it with this. So, let's kind of merge everything here. So we're going to go, that's right, we're going to go down first and come up like that. So then we've got that in place. Now, we need just a little bit of glue on this to hold it down. There we go. And then we're going to tie this off. Thank you, Brooklyn. Yeah, you turkey. Sometimes you need 5 hands when you're doing this. So, I'm going to pull this tighter. And then put a little spot of glue back here, and then trim off this. There we go. And we're going to put this in place, and we may have to slide this over some, and then slide it back over the where my needle nose. Well, we'll use these because I'm not sure. There. And then what we will do is pull that out and then kind of tuck it back in there and pull the ribbon over top of it. Disguise it. There we go. Alright. Now we're going to dovetail. And I would tell anybody that's doing this, if you don't have an hour, because that's about what it takes to put this together, you can do it in stages. Let's trim that. Like one night, do the cardinals. Kind of like this up here. There. Let's bring that over there. There we go. Now, we do have to change those cardinals. See how that looks? And that's attached to our button bow holder. We'll pull this up here. Pull that down there. Let's pull that down there. And then if we want, we have some pine here. I even have the pine cones I couldn't find the other night. I have those too. Silence, Bill. Well, we'll just go with these. I'm not messing with that. And then put a little bit of these in here. This has a little piece. Too much stuff in the way. There we go. So that's what the button bow holder was designed for. It was designed to hold your bow flat and allow you to put in... Nope, don't want these. I don't think so. See if this looks good with it. This also has holly on it, so you could, if you wanted to, stick that in the middle. Let me see. Excuse me. Let me see the answer to your question. Okay. I think it's $42.95. And probably to Georgia, you're looking at about $9 to $10 to ship. Yep, $42.95 pre-made and then shipping to Georgia. So that's about what it would cost. There we go. We are all done. Yeah, because it's saying to Chicago it's about $8.49. It has to go